Hey Coronation Street fans! Get ready for next week's drama, airing from October 14th to 18th with 14 huge spoilers you won't want to miss. A shocking murder investigation kicks off with Joel's body being found. Sarah's on the hunt for Damon's missing money, and Bethany struggles with her recovery, pushing Daniel away. It's going to be a wild ride, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for more updates and in-depth spoilers. You can also dive deeper into these storylines with our collection of 21 spoiler pictures. Don't miss out. 1. Joel's body is discovered. Kit and Craig review new CCTV footage in order to locate Joel, and are surprised to see Joel and his father Gus at a locker. Kit brings Gus in for questioning, determined to get some answers. Meanwhile, some kids spot a body floating in the water on a riverbank. When the body is retrieved and identified, Craig confirms to Lisa and Kit that they've found Joel's body. 2. The news about Joel's death spreads. Kit breaks the news about Joel's death to Dee Dee and Lauren, as Lisa reveals all about the grisly discovery to everyone in the Rovers. Lauren is horrified to learn from Kit that the post-mortem shows Joel was dead before he hit the water, and it's now a murder investigation. Kit questions Lauren's whereabouts on the night of Joel's death. 3. Mason becomes a suspect. Kit discusses the post-mortem findings with Lisa and reveals that Joel died from 2 blows to the head, likely inflicted by a crowbar. Later, Lisa is given reason to suspect Mason's involvement when Yasmin reveals she threw him out after learning he had a crowbar. Lisa warns Betsy to stay away from Mason, but she defies Lisa's orders and tells Mason that the police are onto him. With suspicion rising, Mason tries to dispose of the crowbar but is caught in the act by Kit. 4. Debbie catches Ronnie in a lie. Ronnie receives a shock when Kit questions him and Ed in the ongoing investigation. Ronnie and Ed are quick to provide alibis for their whereabouts on the night of the murder. When Joel's address is found on Ronnie's sat-nav, Ronnie explains that he last used it when he and Michael helped Joel move out of his flat months ago. However, Michael later drops Ed in it by revealing to Debbie that they took Michael's car on that visit. Debbie realizes that Ronnie lied to her, but what will she do with her discovery? 5. Sarah accuses Adam. Sarah finds herself in a tricky situation when she realizes Damon's money has vanished from the lockup. Naturally, her first thought is that Adam might have had something to do with it, especially with everything that's been going on. She's not shy about pointing the finger, accusing him straight away of taking the money. You can really feel the tension rising as Sarah struggles with trust, not sure who's actually telling the truth. Adam, of course, is having none of it. He stands firm, telling Sarah he had nothing to do with the missing cash and trying to clear his name. To make matters worse, he also brings Daniel into the conversation, defending him as well, and trying to get Sarah to see that they aren't involved. Adam's frustration is clear, especially when he starts to suggest other possible culprits. He quickly shifts the suspicion onto Damon's cousin, who had the same access to the lockup. Adam's logic seems sound, but convincing Sarah might be a whole different challenge. It's one of those situations where you can't help but wonder if she's going to believe him or continue digging deeper into her own suspicions. Either way, things are heating up as trust issues and finger-pointing take center stage. 6. David and Sarah are suspicious of Jesse. As David examines his finances to work out how to buy number 8, Jesse offers a helping hand and mentions that he's expecting a financial windfall. David and Sarah note Jesse's strange behavior, and Adam suggests it's possible Jesse may have overheard him discussing Damon's stash of money. Convinced Jesse must be responsible, Sarah enlists David's help to prove it. 7. Sarah is convinced Jesse is guilty. Jesse treats David, Sarah, and Nick to lunch in a bid to get to know them better. Sarah uses the opportunity to quiz Jesse on his finances, and Jesse mentions that his expected windfall is due to the sale of his marital home. David urges Sarah to put aside her suspicions, but when Jesse leaves in a hurry, Sarah follows him to Victoria Gardens. What will she discover? 8. Daisy tries to get through to Bethany. Daniel opens up to Sarah about what's really going on with Bethany, and it's pretty clear how tough things have been. Bethany's convinced that Daniel won't want to be with her anymore because of her stoma bag, and that insecurity is really driving a wedge between them. It's heartbreaking to see how much Bethany is struggling with her self-esteem, and Daniel's feeling helpless, not knowing how to get through to her. At the same time, Daisy gets hit with some surprising news when Jenny tells her that Bethany has actually broken up with Daniel. It's not something Daisy saw coming, and she's pretty shocked to hear that Bethany would just end things like that. The whole situation feels out of character, and Daisy knows this is more about Bethany's inner turmoil than anything to do with Daniel's feelings. Determined to do something about it, Daisy decides to visit Bethany at the hospital. She knows Bethany's making a huge mistake by pushing Daniel away, and she's not going to let her friend throw away a good thing because of her insecurities. Daisy's visit is all about helping Bethany see that Daniel still loves her, and that the stoma bag doesn't change how he feels. It's a tough conversation, but Daisy's hoping she can get through to Bethany before it's too late. 9. Stu considers moving away. Lately, things have been pretty tense between Yasmin and Stu, all because of Stu's deep need to help Mason out. He's been putting a lot of energy into supporting Mason, which has caused a bit of friction between him and Yasmin. It's clear that Stu feels like Yasmin isn't on the same page as him when it comes to giving Mason a second chance, and that's only making things more complicated. The situation really boils over when Mason drops the news that his social worker has found him a place to live. You'd think this would ease some of the pressure, but instead, it triggers a bigger conflict. Stu is not only upset about how Yasmin has handled the whole thing, but also feels like she hasn't been as supportive as he hoped. He's clearly frustrated and disappointed, which leads him to question their whole dynamic. In the heat of it all, Stu drops a bombshell of his own. He's seriously thinking about moving to Germany to be closer to Eliza. That's a huge move, and it feels like his way of escaping the tension that's been building up between him and Yasmin. It's one of those moments where you can really see how much everything is weighing on Stu, and it leaves a big question mark over what's going to happen next. 10. Gemma struggles after Paul's death. Chesney is surprised when Gemma insists that she doesn't want Joseph to go on his school's skiing trip. Chesney tries to reassure her, but it becomes clear that Gemma is fearing for Joseph's safety in the aftermath of Paul's death. Later, Joseph tells Chesney that he doesn't want to go on the trip if it's going to cause Gemma more stress. Meanwhile, Jenny suggests to Chesney that Gemma might like to return to work, but Chesney is adamant that it's too soon. 11. Sam tries to reunite Nick and Leanne with Nick and Leanne, still on the rocks after his affair with Toya. Sam determines to bring them back together. As the youngster prepares a romantic meal for them, he cuts himself with a knife, resulting in a nasty wound. Sam calls on Asha for help, and she takes him to the hospital for stitches. After the incident, Leanne tells Toya that they need to move out of the flat to help Nick and Sam. Leanne makes plans to move into the salon flat, but tells Toya that she should find her own place. 12. Bobby grows suspicious Lauren and Max are relieved to learn from the doctor that Frankie will soon be well enough to be discharged. Bobby promises Lauren that he and Max will be around to help her, and later confesses to Max that he still has feelings for Lauren. Later, Bobby finds Max and Lauren together at the Rovers, but is confused when Max makes a hasty exit. Bobby quizzes Lauren about why they've been acting so shifty around him, prompting Lauren to take off as well. 13. Hope's vaping habit has consequences. With Hope still feeling under the weather, Fizz has no choice but to take the day off and look after her. Tyrone is convinced Hope's vaping habit is to blame, and his suspicions are confirmed when Dr. Gaddis informs them that Hope has a chest infection, and her vaping will have played a part. 14. Rowan pleads not guilty. David drops by the bistro with some pretty frustrating news. Rowan's decided to plead not guilty to the blackmail and fraud charges. That obviously means things are about to get a lot more complicated, and Nick isn't happy at all. Instead of wrapping things up, they're now looking at a trial, which means more stress and more time stuck in the mess Rowan's created. You can feel Nick's frustration because he just wants this whole situation to be over and done with. But just when you think you've got it figured out, there's a hint that Rowan might not be finished causing trouble just yet. There's talk of a possible twist still to come, which keeps everyone on edge. It's the kind of thing that leaves you wondering what Rowan's got up his sleeve next, and how it's going to impact everyone involved. There's clearly more drama brewing, and you can't help but feel like this situation is far from over. And that's a wrap on next week's Coronation Street spoilers. Things are definitely heating up, and it looks like we're in for some serious drama with plenty of twists and turns. From shocking revelations to big decisions, the street is set to keep us all on the edge of our seats. Be sure to stay tuned because there's always more around the corner that'll keep you guessing. If you're excited about what's coming, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a beat. Let us know in the comments which storyline you're most excited about, and we'll be back with even more spoilers and updates soon. Thanks for watching.